Well, you've probably already seen this, but there's been 12 players from Georgia who have been invited to the combine, which is not that far away. And so here's a question. Which of these 12 guys needs the best combine? Now, the short answer is they all need a really good combine, okay? But who really, like, sort of stands out that needs it? So the combine is about 9-ish days away. It depends on the position, what time you go, and all this stuff. So here are the guys that are going to be there: Robert Beal, Stetson Bennett, Jalen Carter, Kyrus Jackson, Broderick Jones, Warren McClendon, Kenny McIntosh, Jack Pinesley, Keely Ringo, Christopher Smith, Nolan Smith, and then Darnell Washington. I'll just say straight up, I don't know how healthy Nolan is. So I think to some degree, if Nolan can kind of get out there and do some stuff, his more important time, considering that the draft is still some time away, about 2.5, well, yeah, 2.5 months, I'll call it, in late April. Um, Nolan's most important time could be the workouts in Athens about a month from now. So, and individual workouts with teams. So, which of these guys does it make the most sense that they really just need a really good combine? I think it's Stetson. I think it's that simple. And here's the reason why. First of all, the arrest. Okay. Why the arrest? Why would that matter? Well, he didn't do the Senior Bowl. Okay. So all anyone's really wondering about right now with Stetson Bennett is what happened with the arrest that he had in Dallas. I think it was in Dallas, not Fort Worth, because he's training in Fort Worth. Same basic, area. It's like distinguishing between, well, Decatur and Atlanta, but probably more like Marietta and Atlanta. But I think for Stetson, it really is an important moment. He did not throw at the Senior Bowl. He did not go to the Senior Bowl. Step number two, which is probably more important than the fact that he got arrested, but plenty of people are going to talk about that. The part that people don't realize about the NFL, maybe they do, I don't know. These guys will use any excuse not to draft you. When you are already a small player, small, Bryce Young, Stetson Bennett, they're going to use any excuse they can not to draft you. They will do it because they just, because they can, for lack of a better term. Um, and for Stetson, this guy right here, he had a really big year at Georgia. If you order double dogs today, you get confetti. I didn't realize I had the confetti. You can watch some of the other videos and realize what happened. I had to get something to Matt. Didn't work out. I realized I had a whole bag of confetti that I'd missed. Whatever. If you've already ordered, you're getting the confetti. Don't email me. There's no reason to. And if you're wondering about the book, it will be sent at the end of this month, or right on top of the end of this month, or early March. So right on top of the book being sent out. The only reason I have this one is for me to make certain that the images look right. Some of them don't. I'm gonna have to adjust them. But for Stetson, I think, you know this guy right here, what makes him special, his legs, his ability to really create. Um, we've not seen Stetson play since the national championship game. And to be clear, he had an unbelievable national championship game. When it was Stetson season, this guy was balling out. But now he's got to answer questions about the arrest. Okay, I mentioned it like 5 times. Now he's got to, I don't know, he's got to explain, but he didn't throw at the Senior Bowl. So I think Stetson's the one who has the most to gain. I would be a little surprised if Jalen Carter, who is sniffing around the number one overall pick, if Jalen Carter is going to do a lot at the NFL Combine. So I do not think that for Jalen, this is an overwhelmingly important event. If you missed that one, I think for him, this is about getting in and getting out of there. But I think for me, it is Stetson. I don't know necessarily what Jack Podnesley will be doing during this time. Kickers and punters, they do kind of their thing. It's not overly watched. they do a lot of individual workouts. Obviously, they do the workout at Georgia or wherever their school is. I think also the other person that sticks out to me is Keeley. Keeley was, there's this discussion of him late in the year of being a top, 15, top 20 guy. That has not been the discussion as much anymore. And so I think for Keeley, we've hit a really important moment. I want to say one thing real quick too, if you're still watching. So I talked to plenty of people more people in college football for sure. But when you talk to NFL folks that are, around the game, there's always this discussion of pre-draft chatter is hard to take seriously. So I bring that up with Keeley because it was what was discussed with Jalen Carter. It is totally possible that a team can say, "Oh, that guy X, we don't like him because X." And they're only saying that so they can hope the guy falls to them. This is like a basic strategy in the NFL. You cannot take anything seriously. Okay? You have to, I think there has to be a consensus, generally speaking. And the truth is, like, we know Jalen Carter's not going out of the first round. We know that. Uh, Broderick Jones, on the other hand, I mean, I am extremely skeptical Broderick will be out of the first round, but okay, we can have this theoretical conversation. You know, it would probably be more like Darnell, someone like Darnell, who is probably not going in the first round. And then in the second round, people are trying to get value. They're looking for a reason to, to, say whatever it is that will knock Darnell down towards their position or knock down Darnell down enough to where they can trade up and get him. But the combine, it is a really, really important moment. It is not all of the moments. It is the measurement from the bowl games or national championship game in Georgia's case to that moment. And these guys are uh, meeting with teams, talking, um, and you know it is one moment. I feel like it's a very pressure-packed moment, having done this for a while. But the thing about the combine for these Georgia players is that if you have a really good combine, you can just X off a lot of stuff. Like, for instance, Kenny McIntosh. Kenny McIntosh is in a position where if he runs really well, or Stetson, they're not going to run at Georgia. They're not going to do 40s at Georgia. When they meet back in Athens for for the NFL Pro Day there, they're not gonna do that. So the combine is just one step. Now, if they feel like they can really help themselves, then they do. I feel I can't remember every single pro day. I've been so many of them. I mean, I'm old enough to remember David Pollack's pro day, but I feel like last year Devontae had a very good pro day at Georgia, and then all of a sudden this guy's going in the first round. So when with the potential first rounders with Warren, excuse me, with Broderick, certainly Jalen Carter, Broderick, possibly Keeley, possibly no. I mean, I don't know what the story is with Nolan. I mean, like I hesitate to even saying it because I'm completely ignorant of his situation. The teams though are not, and they have an understanding through his agent, through dealing with talking with Kirby, talking with well, I'm sure that I don't know how they talked to Dan Lanning about Nolan's injury, but these guys talk to everyone. They're talking to a lot of people. They are doing due diligence. These draft picks are beyond gold. They're like platinum. Okay? They are the real deal. They are the, they are the you cannot this is the one thing that the teams get to control. They don't necessarily control the next round of negotiations because they won't necessarily have the guys. When a guy hits free agent, they can go wherever and do whatever. So this is the critical moment for everyone involved. But the one player I do think, and it seems to me the obvious choice is Stetson. You know, there's going to be people that want to see him in. I remember watching back to David Pollack. I remember, I think it was the Bengals uh, folks were putting him. The Bengals person was in charge of David's group, the outside linebackers in the NFL. He was in charge of, or no, this guy was not in charge. Someone else was in charge. But the guy from the Bengals kept shaking David's hand and like shaking his hand and like slapping him real hard. And I think he was trying to figure out how big his hands are and how firm David was. These NFL people are freaks. I'm telling you. I know some people in the NFL, and I know y'all are not totally freaks, but a lot of y'all are. A lot of y'all are. I think Stetson's the one that has the most to gain and prove here.